My iPhone is faster.
No dude, my HTC One M9 is faster.
Nah man, the Galaxy S6 is the fastest. You feel me? Alright guys, stop being little bitches again. I'm tired of you guys fighting over how fast your phone is. I've got all three of them. I'm gonna go ahead and test them out for you. Hi folks, I'm on Android.com where we get on Android every day. Anyway, I've been pushing out a lot of videos. I have a lot of phones, a lot of things, just everything everywhere. So if I'm uploading too many videos, just watch the ones you want to. You don't have to watch all of them. Watch the ones that you want to. I'm gonna keep uploading videos because that's what I do for a living. And a couple months ago, it was actually really hard for me to make a video per day. When you lose that rhythm and then you try to get back on track, it's like impossible. Same thing with everything in life. I feel like I've got that back now. I feel like that energy. I'm like super high on Android every day. Literally, I get up and, just get high on Android all day. This is a lot of fun for me. Anyway, if I'm uploading too many videos, just watch the ones you want. Simple as that. And to the story of the day. Today, we're gonna go ahead and take on the bad boys, the Galaxy S6 and the HTC One M9 against its biggest competitor, the iPhone 6. Now, the reason why I got this was actually for this video. I'm actually returning this phone because it has a blacklisted IMEI. So technically, I still haven't bought an iPhone in my whole life yet. But I am ordering an iPhone 6 Plus. I want to give you the camera comparison between the iPhone 6 Plus and the Galaxy S6 because it's so good. And I want to convert some of you iWhores into Android, because that's whole my goal in life. The biggest reason I like Android is that it's open source. The biggest reason I don't like iPhones, because it's closed source. Open source helps our young ones, kids, students, to learn more about coding. Apple iPhone 6, not so much. That's probably the biggest reason why I buy Android phones. Anyway, let's get on to the story of the day. We're gonna go ahead and do this test. Let's go do this, baby. Alright, here's the moment of the truth. Which phone is fastest? Probably the most accurate test is Antutu, so we're gonna go ahead and run that first. The iPhone 6 here, HTC One M9, and the Samsung Galaxy S6. I didn't include the Galaxy S6 Edge because the results are pretty much identical. But let's go ahead and do this test. I'm gonna close out of all my apps. Actually, the only apps that's running is the Antutu. So I'm gonna go ahead and run Antutu. Ready, set, go. All right, this is gonna give you real results of these phones. Antutu is probably the most accurate because it adds 2D, 3D scores, also integer scores, because all these processors, basically how fast they are, really relies on how fast they do math. So faster the frequency, faster it can do math. And all of these displays, all the software apps can be translated into zeros and ones. So that is very important. And of course, these are real world results, not some guy saying this is faster, slower. You can actually see the numbers. And I'm trying to be more scientific with my videos lately, as you've noticed. And it's even surprising to me while doing some of those SOT tests, the lux brightness tests, it really surprised me how better some of the performance on the Galaxy S6 is over some of the older phones. But these are real world results, something you can compare the numbers. And if you can't really get those numbers, there's actually no comparison at all. I mean, it's just whatever you say. And there's a lot of well-known sites, I won't name any, but there are a lot of well-known sites that actually are very biased, written by Apple fanboys or HTC fanboys or Samsung fanboys. They're not accurate. I used to be very biased, and stuff, but in the recent videos, I'm trying to give you more scientific results, so it's unbiased, and this is straight up gonna give you the performance differences. So I'm really trying to focus on that, and this is one test you can do. And I run Antutu on everything, Antutu is probably the most accurate. There's also 3D Mark, which is like started with PCs. I don't find it as much as accurate, but we will also run that after this test, just to give you another benchmark. But you can see already the M9 is in the lead, Galaxy S6 followed by second. And also you'll notice 1080p screen versus 1440p screen. Now, in this test, if you have a higher resolution, you will need more processing power to get the same scores. So even if these two ended up with the same score, that would mean the Galaxy S6 is faster. All right, just want to let you know. And also the iPhone 6 also has less resolution than the M9. So those numbers, you may have to add up the numbers because Antutu actually uses all the pixels to actually do the test. I wish actually they could do it in the same resolution. Then it would be actually, you'll be able to really compare the numbers. But even with that, we should be able to compare the numbers here. And you can see the iPhone 6 just got in there. Look at how slow it is. I mean, you can't blame it because this is a phone that came out a couple months ago. And the CPU, the new CPU on the Galaxy S6 is like the best thing the fastest thing they've ever made. I mean, I would expect something like this maybe next year on the Galaxy S7, but they came out with it like a year earlier. So in that regards, even the iPhone 7 comes out, I don't think it's going to be able to keep up pace with Galaxy S6. Maybe. And I'm looking forward to the Note 5, which will be even faster than this. You can see the M9 finish first at 57,576. And the Galaxy S6 is, I think it's actually uploading the scores to the Antutu site or something. But we should get that score soon. Come on, I don't want to run this test again. And you can see the iPhone 6 is like, it's like twice slower, at least twice slower. And it's almost done here. And we'll have all the numbers and we should be done here. Now this is actually running, I'm not sure if it's actually running the 64-bit version of Antutu, but the scores wouldn't be that much different. I mean, you know, just because the CPU on these are much better, they're newer CPU. Actually, this isn't even a fair contest to tell you really. I would have, to be fair, Apple would have to launch the phone like within the same time frame as these, you know, because the processing, manufacturing of CPUs changes so quickly. I don't know what this is. Come on, should I go to details? Ah, there we go. So I gotta go to details for some of you that want to show now. So I've got 69,122. All right. And followed by the M9 at 57,576. All right, and I've got 46,671. Now you'll be able to run this test like 20 times. You'll get the same score on most of these devices. Anyway, that is Antutu. Now I can't compare all of the numbers because the iOS version doesn't show you the actual numbers here. Or is there a way to have? Yeah, it doesn't show it. But you can see the results here. The Galaxy S6 is almost 25,000 points higher. So almost 60% faster than the iPhone 6. Followed by the M9 is almost 11,000. So that is like 25%, 30% faster than iPhone 6. And let's go to the next test. All right, guys, next let's go ahead and try the 3D Mark. I actually let all of the phones cool down. That way it's fair. And let's go ahead and see how fast these bad boys can run. All right. And this is another test that really tests your graphics 2D more. And I hope this will show you slightly better results for gaming, especially. And we'll see how these all performed. But I feel like the test is actually a little bit different between the iPhone 6 because you see the tests are not the same, Android and Apple. So I don't know, I may have to, well, we'll just take a look at the results, but the actual test should be the same. Now I do have a ton more stuff coming. First of all, I've got the .view case that I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna probably put that on my other channel, High on Android. I also got the Ring K case that's coming for the HTC One M9. And I was actually looking for a wireless charging module that's also a power bank. And I was actually watching Flossie Carter's channel, and he had one of these when he was testing some of those cases. I was actually looking for one of these last week or something, and I couldn't find it. There was nothing wireless charging, wireless charger that's portable or whatever. But it's actually called wireless charging power bank, and I actually got 2 of these. So this would be great, you know, if you don't want any wires on your desk and you want to have wireless charging, or maybe you go camping and you need something to just slap your phone on top of it. This would be a great way. And these are also, you can just charge through a USB cable, so it's got double usage, and they're actually not, they don't cost that much. I think I paid 40 bucks for each for both of those. So very good stuff. I'll have a review of those. I have too many videos. I also got to do a bunch of ROM videos and whatnot. But if you do have, if you do want to compare your results, you can go ahead and compare in real time here, especially for the Android version. I'm not sure why the Apple iPhone version it's just not showing the actual benchmark, you know, the actual game thing here. But I think the Galaxy S6 is winning the test here. As you can see, the time is already at 2:11 versus only at 2 minutes for the HTC One M9. Now these are actually two of the best processors out right now, I would say, for Android. I do prefer the Exynos more. It does run a lot cooler. Test them side by side. But I mean, the M9 is great also. It doesn't have any problems whatsoever. It just gets, the back gets real hot. You may want to definitely use a case if you live in a hot country. And also, the edge is really hard to hold. Sometimes I feel like it's going to cut my hand. So definitely use a case for this one. But you know, performance improvements on the Galaxy S6 is a lot more, just because Samsung came up with, I think, this a new chip that's so much faster. I mean, nothing can beat it. I mean, this chip will be the chip that would be normally on the next device, like the Note 5 or something. But Samsung somehow were able to get all these performance improvements. That said, I mean, you know, it's really up to your personal preference. But here we go. So we finally got some numbers. The Galaxy S6 finished the test actually early, but let's actually go check out the actual numbers, and we'll actually compare these two while that one's completing. So the iPhone 6 comes short of the Galaxy S6, a score of 22,619, that's the total score, and the M9 actually has the highest score. So actually take a look at all of these numbers here, and you will find the scores here. Let's look at the graphics score: 22,545, 23,803, 34,222. So the M9 is fastest at graphics here. Physics score, you'll see that it's highest with the Galaxy S6 at 19,266, followed by 11,439. So that's almost twice faster than the M9 and the iPhone 6, which has only 9,462. And these scores on the right side is actually the average scores on 3D Mark. So these results are pretty much identical to those results. And also graphic test 122 frames per second, 121.9 frames per second, 163.6 frames per second. Also, graphic test 2 is much higher with the HTC One M9. So HTC One M9 just does kill it as far as the frames per seconds go. And physics test, 30 frames per second, 61.2 frames per second. And in the physics test, the Galaxy S6 comes out first. So depending on the type of graphics, I guess, you know, these two kind of battle out. But again, these two are both great processors. But there you have it. You got the, I think these 3D Mark and Antutu are probably the most accurate. Actually, Antutu is probably the most accurate for, you know, the average apps, people running games and stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That was Antutu and 3D Mark benchmark for all the flagship phones. Anyway, thanks guys for watching this video. I will have the iPhone 6 for the next couple more days, so if there's anything you want me to compare with the Androids, do let me know. Before I used to like hate it and stuff, but I feel like it's better if I actually use it and give you an honest review. So from now on, I'm actually gonna try to use an iPhone. That way I can give you a hands-on experience between what's better with Android, what's not better with Android. I'm sort of give you an unbiased review. Well, I'll still love Android more. But this way, I know some of you like iPhones, and I can give you why Android is better. But without having an iPhone, I can't really tell you that. Rather than me being blind, this way I can give you a more of a fair head-on-head. Also, my reviews will be more scientific. Our high on Android scientific method is getting better and better every day. You've seen the SOT test, the lux test, the brightness test. So I'm trying to be more scientific rather than throwing out words like, it's better, it's brighter, it lasts longer. What if I could show you actual numbers? And I know this would be actually a real test between different phones. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this content. I'm going to try to push out more stuff. Do let me know what you think. And as always, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or Google+. And as always, I'll stay on Android.